Welcome. I am Todd Raffel with ERE Media. We are at ere.net. That's our domain name. And I'm here with Jordan Schwartz. He's the co-founder of a company called Pathable. And he's located, I don't know where he is. I don't know where I am. We're both virtual. We are working for companies where everyone's virtual. We have no office. His company used to have an office. My company used to have an office, but neither does anymore. And the people he hires anywhere. So, advantages. We've heard of most of them before. People have no commute, so they can work more without driving. They're happier, they're more engaged, they're more productive, they're more comfortable. They also, and this is huge, there's no conversations with hiring managers. Oh, we can't hire this person because they're in the wrong city. They just get the best talent. Doesn't matter where they live. They don't have to have a big fight over it. Why can't they work from home? Everyone's from home. Did I get that right? Is that kind of a summary of the advantages?
Yeah, that's some of them. That's some of them, all right. I think for me, when I started Pathable, I had just had my son, who's now 7 years old, and the idea of going to work every day and coming home at 5 or 6 or 7, and being able to spend an hour with him before he went to bed, and then doing the same thing the next day. That didn't seem right to me, and so I really liked the idea and the experience of spending his childhood in the same house as him, and take a coffee break, and I'd go out and play with him in the backyard, and he wanted to show me something he was drawing. Sure, I could take a minute and look at what you're drawing, and talk to him for about 10 minutes and then go back to work.
I didn't mention, by the way, real estate cost savings, but
Yeah.
you just touched on something interesting. And that is, I think when people talk about remote work, they talk about all of the advantages that I just listed. But they don't talk enough about one big one, which I think is the reason that people like remote work. And that's because it's sometimes, not always, associated with flexibility. I know someone who works for a management consulting company at home. She's got to hit the keyboard every 15 minutes to show that she's still working, which seems weird to me. You could be like having a very valuable conversation walking the dog and be doing absolutely nothing but playing Candy Crush while you touch the keyboard. But nonetheless, in many cases, I think what people like about remote work is that it is somehow, in some cases, associated with flexibility. And companies say they're flexible, like if you have an emergency, you can leave to pick up your kids or that kind of thing. But for the most part, companies are not built around people being able to pick the kids and drop them off every day, or being able to visit your parents who are aging every day and help them get their mail or whatever they have to do, or take your parakeet to arthroscopic surgery, whatever you have to do every day. That's not really how companies are built. They expect you to be in the office and commute and stay there all day, and it doesn't matter exactly the productivity. And working from home is associated with, I could work 20 hours a freaking day, and sometimes I do, but in that day, I might have taken the kids to school or picked them up or taken I don't have a parakeet, but whatever. So what about the flexibility part of it? Is that part of it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's flexibility just in terms of the everyday. And I think that being able to not compartmentalize my time between I'm at work and then I come home and I'm at home, and there's this separation, but it's flexible. I can kind of switch back and forth fluidly and use my time more dynamically. There's that piece. But also there's flexibility in terms of work environment. So yeah, I'm in Seattle right now, but on Saturday morning, my family and I are hopping on a plane. We're going to Mexico. We're going to go to Sayulita. It's a little surfing village just about an hour north of Puerto Vallarta. And there's a co-working space in Sayulita, and they have fiber internet that goes in, and I can rent an office there for about $12 a day, and that's where I'm going to be working from for that week. And that kind of flexibility is very powerful as well. And my day, of course, will need to be flexible to take advantage of the fact that I'm there. But my plan is I'll get up in the morning and I'll maybe go for a swim in the ocean, and then I'll do 4 or 5 hours of work. And when it's lunchtime, I'm going to go take a surfing lesson and maybe spend an hour on the beach and then go back to work for a few more hours.
You're completely negating everything I ever tell people, because people see me in a t-shirt and shorts, they think I don't work or I'm an alcoholic and whatever else. And I tell them, oh, I'm worked, I'm stressed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But now you're telling me like remote work is all about just surfing and all this stuff. So you're negating everything I've ever said. So I'm hoping we can cut this part out of the video. But my other question is, you have people in Seattle, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Macedonia, Philippines, and Spain. I think I got that right.
That's about right.
Do these people get hired remotely, or do you meet them before you hire them and bring them into the office and talk to them?
No, I've never met most of the people that I work with in person, but I will say that every one of them, every conversation I have with them is like this. It's video.
Oh.
I'm looking them in the eye the way I'm looking you in the eye. And I think that's really important. The kinds of conversations that you have and the kind of relationships you can build and an understanding of the nuance of someone's personality, that you certainly can't do that by typing alone. And I don't think you can do it by talking alone. You learn so much from somebody just by having this kind of a conversation where you can see their facial expressions, you can see how they think, and literally you can see how they think. And I think that's essential. Whether they're in the room next to me while they're doing that or they're on the other end of the video screen, I don't know why I should care.
So you can't just call someone and ask a quick question, hey, I got this problem. You're in the car. You really have to get them on video every time you call them?
That's our company policy.
Okay.
Yeah. You call somebody, it's always video.
Okay. Last thing, and then I'll let you go. What about drawbacks? Is your relationship not quite the same because you're not rubbing up against them, or no?
Yeah,
like a communication. Are you not, as a company, somehow could it be running smoother because you know more about what other people are doing if you're right next to them?
There's a perceived cost to calling somebody up. It feels interrupting in a way, right? And so if I have a little question to ask somebody, I find that people spend more time trying to solve those problems on their own without just turning to somebody and asking, and that tends to make problem solving take longer. And it's because the perceived rudeness or cost of interrupting somebody for a video chat is higher than if we were just sitting next to each other and I could look up and I could say, hey, is the build done yet? Or kind of simple question like that. So yeah, I think it does slow things down. There's a cost, but we're very deliberate about that. And I remind people every day. I'll see people having conversations in Slack, which is our chat client, and they'll be going back and forth about something, and I can see the communication not happening clearly, and I'll stop them. I'll say, get on video now. Just stop what you're doing, talk to each other, and then that tends to hurry things along.
That's what I was actually going to ask you before you mentioned Slack is, do you really need to, could you just send someone an instant message or not fully interrupt them and just, they can kind of get to that instant message in a little while rather than...
Most of our, everybody's in Slack all day and most of our conversations happen that way.
Okay.
But for high bandwidths, more technical, complex conversations, I think having a video chat has a lot of advantages. On the other hand, having Slack or a chat room like that where everything gets documented can also be very valuable. So someone says, I'll deliver this by tomorrow. They just typed it, and that's in the log, and I can search it, and I can bring it back up if they start to miss deadlines or if there's some question about what was said or what was promised.
Gotcha. Jordan Schwartz from Pathable, thank you very much. You will. I hope you have a great vacation or work, whatever it might be, whether you're surfing or working laptop.
Definitely work.
Excellent. Todd Raffel with Erie Media, Erie.net.
Thanks.